We are back with another monthly wrap-up of some of the weird, bizarre, and even scary news to come out of Japan over the last month. So, what happened over the last month or so? Let's take a look. Number 1. Pokemon cards are serious business these days, and the manager of a card shop in Yokohama City noticed something horrifying last month. More than 1,000 cards worth 1,500,000 yen were stolen, and there was an absolutely massive hole in the wall. The burglar broke in by entering the neighbouring store, which was empty at the time, and then literally breaking through the wall to reach the card shop. They then entered the shop, took as many expensive cards as they could, then went back through the hole and escaped. "It feels like our culture was stolen," the manager said, feeling both sad and angry. Cards aren't just merchandise, they're culture. For him, they were a means to connect with the local community, as well as make a living. Police are still investigating the theft. Number 2. We all know and love the meme. The image of the anime girl running off to school with a piece of bread in her mouth. Well, if you've ever dreamt of being that anime girl, Japan has you covered. On April 6th, they held their second annual bread biting race in Nihonbashi, Tokyo. And yes, it's just how it sounds. This is a relay race with 3 people running 30 meters each, all while holding a piece of anpan, or bread with red bean paste inside, in their mouth. Well, technically you have to bite the edge of the plastic wrapper while you run, but still. They encourage anyone who can run to take part, from young to old, so you can live out your anime girl dreams. And to make things even better, for every person who participated, the organisers donated some anpan to a children's cafe in Chuo Ward. Running with bread for a good cause. Number 3. Speaking of holes in walls, a tweet went viral this month for a rather unfortunate accident someone experienced at home. Their washing machine blowing up. "My washing machine exploded and destroyed my house. What on earth am I supposed to do with this? Help me, LOL." As you can see from the pictures, it did indeed blow up and took a hefty chunk of the wall with it. It turned out that the OP put a waterproof sheet in a net that's suitable for both washing and drying, but shortly thereafter, the machine exploded. So, looks like it wasn't all that safe. She was also in contact with the washing machine and sheet manufacturers, as well as home insurance to see what could be done about the unfortunate destruction. But it was looking like she'd have to shoulder all the costs for the incredibly expensive mistake. Ouch. Number 4. Japan is incredibly serious about its public servants, and it's a well-respected job where employees are expected to be disciplined and uphold the utmost morals. So, it may not come as a surprise to hear that a 58-year-old bus driver from Kyoto was denied his severance pay after he was fired for embezzling money. But how much exactly did he steal? Well, it was 1,000 yen. Less than $10. In February 2022, a camera on the bus saw him pocketing a 1,000 yen note from a passenger, instead of putting it in the fare machine. And so, he was promptly fired. That part is all well and good, but the former driver took the decision to withhold his nearly 12 million yen in severance pay over it all the way to the Supreme Court, arguing that it was simply too much. Unfortunately for him, the court disagreed. The court pointed out that embezzling public money, no matter how little, is an incredibly serious offence for a public servant, and because of his actions, people's trust in bus services would be damaged. Just remember, folks, it's never worth it, especially not for just 1,000 yen. Number 5. It was reported last month that a 21-year-old unemployed man from Ichinomiya City in Aichi Prefecture was arrested for dumping the body of a 16-year-old high school girl. They had reportedly met through an internet game, and the last thing the girl told her family before disappearing on March 29th was that she was visiting a friend from an internet game in Aichi. But what makes matters even worse, however, was that the man also reportedly logged into her school app from his own phone to send messages to her friends, telling them that she was okay. Police believe he did this so that nobody would be suspicious when she didn't return. Considering how he was arrested shortly thereafter, that obviously didn't go so well for him. This case is still under investigation. Number 6. In this month's Yakuza news, a 43-year-old, officially unemployed man, yet senior member of the Sumiyoshi Kai, was arrested by Saitama police on April 15th. His crime? Renting a rental car 2 years prior. As the story goes, on September 22nd, 2022, the man signed a rental agreement to borrow the car for 1 night, 2 days. He wrote his reason for hiring the car as leisure. That was it. However, he failed to inform the company that he was a Yakuza member, and he also wasn't using the car just for leisure. It was to gather illegal funds. This is against the law, and although it took them some time, it seems he was finally arrested for it. Remember folks, crime doesn't pay. Number 7. Do you like solving puzzles? Do you enjoy coffee? Would you like to combine the two? Well, Japan has you covered. For a price. The Hatena coffee shop, with Hatena meaning question mark, is offering guests the ultimate coffee drinking riddle solving experience. And you can't leave until you solve it. You can go alone or with friends, and you can take as long as you like. You're not going to be kicked out if you can't solve it within 20 minutes. But the catch here is that you're not allowed to leave the store until you do. Of course, they can't actually stop you, but you know, it's best to play along. All the puzzles and riddles have been uniquely created for the cafe, so kick those brain cells into gear and head over to show off your absolutely massive galaxy brain. And also enjoy some coffee. Can't forget the coffee. Number 8. On April 26th, a 40-year-old part-time worker in Kanagawa, with no fixed address, was arrested under suspicion of property damage. What was he suspected of breaking? A ticket gate at Shin Matsuda Station. And how did he break it? By pouring cup noodles into it. The strange act reportedly happened shortly after 11 AM last December 11th. It said the man poured the soup from the cup noodles he was carrying into the ticket machine and was caught by the security cameras as he left. It wasn't until the next day, however, that staff noticed the machine was no longer working, and those machines are rather pricey, coming in at around 1.5 million yen each. That's a decent amount of damage for one small cup of noodles. When arrested, the man reportedly told police, "I'm not saying I didn't do it, but I don't remember any details." I mean, sure. Number 9. Another tweet went viral last month showing off something honestly pretty cool. A German blacksmith who created a real-life version of the Dragon Slayer, Guts' sword from Berserk. If you've ever wondered what it might be like to actually try to swing something like that around, well, you don't have to wonder anymore. As you can imagine, it's not for the faint of heart or faint of body. Commenters were impressed with the craftsmanship and, amusingly, quite a few pointed out that if someone digs that up in several hundreds of years, they're going to wonder just how huge people were during our time if that's the size of the sword they were swinging around. All according to Keikaku, of course. Number 10. And finally this month, a 48-year-old man was arrested for a naked crime spree across several Saitama cities last month. Yes, you heard that right. A naked crime spree across several cities. On the night of April 21st, the 48-year-old man was reportedly caught at a cram school in Solka City, where a teacher and some students were still in class inside. The man was naked, screaming, and reportedly hit the teacher in the head with a mug so hard he had to get stitches. But only 50 minutes before that, the man was seen driving recklessly in Saitama City. There, he hit 2 different men on bikes, injuring one and killing the other. A short distance from that, he hit a woman in her car. He got out of his own, naked, and forced her out before stealing her car and driving off again. A short while after that, he then attacked a taxi, reportedly jumping onto the front of it, smashing the windscreen, forcing the driver out, and then taking off with 2 passengers still inside. He then crashed that before fleeing naked into the night again. Police also found footage of him trying to break into several different locations during his crime spree, but have so far been unable to determine exactly why he was acting like that, or what his motive was. And that's just some of the weird, bizarre, terrifying, and also kind of funny news that came out of Japan last month. But what about you guys? Hear of anything odd or terrifying, weird or funny? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.